My name is Lara Schuler, spelled Lara Schuler. It is my given name.
Yes. Are you from Connecticut?
I am. I grew up in New Canaan.
Awesome. I actually do a lot of work around the state because I do carpentry, and I was just almost in that area.
Oh, that's cool.
The hills, if you will. They call it the hills. And how did you get it? Are you a comedian or
Singer-songwriter.
Singer-songwriter. How'd you get into it?
I grew up in the entertainment industry, and everyone in my family played instruments. So I was, we had a baby grand piano that I never
Really, it's
learned
like
to
a
play.
musical family.
Yep, my uncle, everyone, my grandparents.
See, I'm envious of that because I'm very much into music, and my family's not a musical family at all. So I find that interesting when somebody is in a musical family.
They were very supportive. It was great because I was about 8 years old and there was a guitar, and I started to kind of mess around with it, and then I changed my mind and I'm gonna go play drums. So got a drum set.
No family band?
No.
No? Have you ever
No.
been in a band, or are you a solo artist?
I've played with a bunch of people over the years, but I am solo. I was 12 when I picked up the guitar and taught myself, and but it was great to have a family that was supportive and just we will whatever you want. That sounded really spoiled. It meant more.
I think everybody kind of knows. The only thing I ask from my audience, and I think I was saying it wrong in the beginning, you have to spell things like your name to find you and stuff, because sometimes people will change the pronunciation of it and stuff. So I say they can't spell, but I don't mean it.
Oh,
My audience.
when I'm out in the field.
But they get everything else.
But when I'm out in the field and I interview people, I ask them to say and spell their name.
I think it's important.
It's just a good act. Actually, you should. That way, when you're doing your lower thirds,
Yep.
maybe you're not doing lower thirds.
No lower thirds. But
I'm not here to tell you how to do your job. I'm sorry. Carl.
No, hints and tips are fine with me. I love it. I take all.
So, irrespective of who you're talking to, you should always ask them to say and spell their name.
Yes. So, what is your creative process?
I am someone who waits for inspiration to strike. And sometimes I'll gnaw on a thought for a couple weeks. And then by the time I sit down to write it, it takes me 20 minutes or less.
The most important part is, do you have any pre-show rituals to get up? So I make music with Frank Cappo. I don't know how you know him as. I'm too scared to get on stage, so I'm fascinated at how people can get on stage.
Well,
so hopefully it helps others.
I had a classical voice teacher who said, do a shot of vodka before you go on stage. I didn't do that tonight, but
That's a good tip.
it's something, and there are a couple reasons for that. One, it warms up your voice
Okay.
quickly.
Yep.
So vodka is chemically hot.
Yes.
Even though it's cold,
Yeah.
you're chilling it.
Sure.
So it warms up your voice quickly, but it also typically will relax you.
Sure. Little inebriation, if you will.
Just one. I didn't say 5 shots. Some people might do 5.
What do you find is the most challenging part of making music, and what's the funnest part?
Challenging
Yes.
would be what? These are good questions, Carl. I'm impressed.
Thanks. I went to school. But I don't do that for a living.
I went to school and...
For broadcasting and communications.
You did?
Yes.
Wait, so why are you a carpenter? That's a great skill, but you went to
Family
school
thing.
for broadcasting.
It's a family thing, and I guess so in that field you have to be willing to move. I guess I wasn't willing to move around so much too.
I've had to live in LA and New York, and now I can live in Connecticut. But yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
So one of the most challenging things I find about making music is sometimes just people are so busy, it's hard to get people to come play with you, with me sometimes.
Yes.
I'll occasionally have a bass player,
Yes.
but I've never been that person who was like, let's get a band together. Even though my music would sound great with a band behind it, it's finding people. I'm at that age where everybody's got kids. And, oh my God, I gotta drive the kid to soccer. I can't play. I
Yep.
go to those games too, but
Yep.
I'm not driving kids.
It was more than just me and Capo.
Yeah.
And they were the only ones standing, you know?
Right, so I think that's definitely a challenge, is getting people together to play. And the other challenge would be that as a singer-songwriter, finding someone who will say, yes, I like your music enough to play along with you.
Yes.
A lot of people like my music, but saying, I will dedicate 2 hours a week.
Yes.
You know, it's...
And collaboration is the thing that's missing. Like, Connecticut's not a hub for music, so if we don't
No.
work together, you know, what the heck? We're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, so that's a challenge. But then the flip side is the fun is when people do come together. I have friends who do a music party 12 months a year. In fact, I'll be there tomorrow night if the weather is okay. That is a fun thing, coming together. And I can play my originals there, and some bluegrass guy will come along and make the song sound better.
Yep.
That's the fun side, the collaboration. When that magic happens in the backyard or in a field at a music festival,
Yeah.
that is cool.
The live stuff. And I think people foo-foo the recording stuff too. I put a little emphasis on the recording stuff just because, like, so I've done songs with a couple of people that passed away. And I think it's cool to listen to their voice again. You know what I mean? So.
I know a guy, Dick, who's working on, one of his friends passed away, and the buddies all got together, and they're putting this album together in Sandy Hook. This guy's lit music, and
Yeah.
I heard a little snippet of it, but yeah.
Yeah. It's cool, like, you know, that part too. But the live part is you can actually feel the energy of the crowd and, like, interact with it in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be cool. I've had a friend of mine died a couple years ago, and it is wild to see him just even in photos, but
Yes.
I've heard his daughter posted some tracks recently, and I ended up buying his mandolin so I could teach myself. I had to get it flipped over at Music Guild in Danbury, but I bought his mandolin, so
Cool.
I have a piece of him.
That's cool.
I don't think I'll ever be as good as he was, but I pick it up, and suddenly Bill's with me again, and
Yes.
it's a neat thing. I asked his widow if it was okay if I bought it and flipped it over, and she said, well, it stays in the family that way.
He probably wanted somebody's actually playing it every now and then. And
I had my eye on it when he was alive.
So you know.
He did, like...
Yeah. Do you believe in aliens?
I do.
How about other dimensions?
I do. I believe in parallel universe. I believe in serendipity. I believe in fate. And the flip side is I am actually an existentialist. It all somehow works, but yes, I believe in all that. And I have seen UFOs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen something in the sky that lights that I can't describe, so I'm going to say maybe it was spinning crazy like
Unidentified flying objects.
Yes.
UFO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you sing in the shower, and is that considered practice? Hey, I'm going to tell you why. Once you get to that.
I don't sing in the shower. I sing in the car.
Okay.
My father, who was also an accomplished musician and singer, said, hum. So I hum if I'm alone. And that is practice. But it is, when I'm on a road trip, I try to sing.
All right, the car, the same thing. I say the shower because to me it's almost like a booth, a music booth.
Well, the great thing about the shower is you've got the heat and the steam, so all your vocal cords are warm. It's a great place to practice.
And I'll get woo-woo with you a little bit. Water?
And
Water, there's a little something more to water than any people are leading on, that there's earth's the only thing with it. So you're singing in the water,
Yep.
in a booth essentially. I don't know, I like singing in the shower.
It's a sexy thing, Carl.
So where can we find all your work? Plug yourself as much as you want right now.
I'm on Reverb Nation. Lara Schuler Music is my Facebook page. I have my personal and then Lara Schuler Music. There's maybe a video up there. Maybe there'll be more after tonight.
Yep.
I want to say that I played a brand new song tonight that no one had heard.
Okay, cool.
Except the people in the room downstairs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of it. I should name it. It doesn't matter.
Working art. But do you do that a lot? As far as like new creations?
Yeah, it's fun. I live on the other side of the state in Reading.
I was working in Reading today.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, that's funny.
I wonder who you were working. You can say it off camera.
Yeah.
We'll say it off camera.
Because they're...
I'll ask you when we're done. So there was and possibly still is an open mic at the Enchanted Garden on Route 7 in Ridgefield. It was once a month, and then COVID hit, and then things changed. So every month I played, I had the goal of writing a new song, because this audience they loved my music, very supportive of everyone who was up there. And so every month I wanted to impress them. And I would play a song that I'd write a song between that third Friday and the next third Friday and debut it there. And it was so much fun. And part of it was the challenge of having a goal. If I had a publishing deal, I'd probably be writing more. I'd be under that gun. I write for a living, so I'm under a gun in a different way.
Different.
But I'm not writing music for a living.
Yes.
I'm writing TV shows. But it's a different thing when you got an audience who is expecting your new song. So I would rise to that challenge, and it was so great to just go, you know what? I've got a new one. Here it is. Sit there. And sometimes wasn't great. Not always, maybe not my best work. 90% of the time, I think.
Did you get to test it?
It was cool though.
Yeah.
And if I messed up, because I just learned the song a few days ago.
Yeah.
I once played an open mic where I debuted a new song that I'd just written 2 hours before.
Cool. I think that's cool.
That was great. And I love that. And I did it tonight because I thought, you know what? I'm here. I'm on the other side of the state. Nobody knows me. If I mess this up...
If you've done that anywhere else, it should have been here because we respect that. Like, we hate rigidness, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It was... I got some surprising head nods You know, like,
So now you know to work with it more, and you could build on it, or maybe you scrap it for a little later, or. But that's actually a cool way to bring a new concept to somebody, is to like live and see the reaction.
yeah, I announced it. No one's heard this song but my cat. And hopefully people were listening. I think they were. It's hard to tell. You know, it's a bar. People are talking.
Well,
hanging out.
yeah, it's loud too down there. That's why I'm
Can
not,
be.
I'm not, yeah.
But there, you can tell one of the joys of playing music live with humans.
Yes.
Not Zoom.
Soon there'll be robots, but yes.
Yeah, well, I did some Zoom concerts over COVID. And
Okay. Yeah.
I set up photos and played to people. But the great thing about being on stage, even when people are talking, you can look around. I made eye contact with people that were paying attention.
Yep.
And that is such...
Rewarding.
Yeah, it's so rewarding, and one of the great joys of playing music. Even though, you know, it's 4 songs, but if you can get them, even if they just hear one, it's so cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That's part of our thing is we try to have like a lot of different genres, not just one genre specific. And it's more of like a feeling and a vibe that we try to put out there.
Yeah.
Than like a specific. We have comics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's more of a feeling that we're trying to put out there. We hope that we really try to showcase the artist as well.
It's a very welcoming environment.
Thank you.
I didn't know what to expect. I had a feeling people wouldn't drive an hour to come here to see me play. So I'm driving up here.
Banking on what we're going to see.
Yeah. Yeah, hoping that whomever's here is going to enjoy what I'm doing.
Sure.
And what a great night to hear different types of music going on. I saw these awesome death metal dudes.
Yep. Yep.
I have not listened to that kind of music in probably a couple years. I hear it when I'm pulling music
Sure.
for my shows.
Sure.
My TV shows,
Yeah.
not my shows, but I'll click on something, but it doesn't usually fit. But to see that live tonight, after seeing, you know, there were a couple people like me who were just solo acoustic and then death metal. What a great mashup.
We kind of harken it to like an old school, like high school, like
Yeah.
battle of the bands type thing, like they used to do in high school, like you know, when everybody used to perform and stuff.
Well, I think it's one of the great things about it is a lot of musicians, I should say, listen to a lot of different types of music. I grew up listening to classical and jazz. My mother was a huge jazz fan, loved Dave Brubeck, who I think is buried in Reading. And my dad was a DJ, and my grandfather loved opera. Being raised with all this different type of music means that my Spotify, my iPod, everything is so different. And so if I hit random play, John Denver's going to come up, probably somewhere.
Yep.
Maybe the Carpenters. I wouldn't necessarily admit that.
I went to their middle school.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. And then...
They're from East Haven.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I had no idea where they're from. She was an amazing drummer.
Yes.
There were a couple... years ago, I forgot how I discovered it, but there are these clips of her playing.
Comedian or?
Singer-songwriter.
Singer-songwriter. I had to get into it.
I grew up in the entertainment industry, and everyone in my family played instruments. So I was, we had a baby grand piano that I never
Really, it's
learned
like
to
a
play.
musical family.
Yep, my uncle everyone, my
See, I'm
grandparents.
envious of that because I'm very much into music and my family's not a musical family at all. So I find that interesting when somebody is in a musical family.
They were very supportive. It was great because I was about 8 years old and there was a guitar, and I started to kind of mess around with it, and then I changed my mind and now I'm gonna go play drums. So got a drum set.
No family band?
No.
No? Have you ever
No.
been in a band, or are you solo artist?
I've played with a bunch of people over the years, but I am solo. I was 12 when I picked up the guitar and taught myself, and but it was great to have a family that was supportive and just we will whatever you want. That sounded really spoiled. It meant more.
I think everybody kind of knows. The only thing I ask from my audience, and I think I was saying it wrong in the beginning, you have to spell things like your name to find you and stuff, because sometimes people will change the pronunciation of it and stuff. So I say they can't spell, but I don't mean it.
Oh,
My audience.
when I'm out in the field.
But they get everything else.
But when I'm out in the field and I interview people, I ask them to say and spell their name.
I think it's important.
It's just a good actually you should. That way, when you're doing your lower thirds,